The Tragic Tale of Cain, God's Mark and a Life of Exile. Part 1. The Hook. Welcome, seekers, to Bible by Candlelight, where the flickering flame illuminates the ancient scrolls, revealing whispers of forgotten truths. Tonight, we journey into the shadowed heart of humanity's earliest tragedy, a story etched not just in ancient texts, but in the very fabric of our shared consciousness. We speak of Cain, the firstborn, the first murderer, forever branded by a divine mark and condemned to wander. But what does this mark truly signify? Was it merely a curse or a profound act of grace? And what profound lessons does his tragic exile offer us about divine justice, human nature, and the persistent echo of sin? Join us as we peel back the layers of this foundational narrative, seeking not just answers, but deeper understanding. Part 2. The Journey of Discovery. A. The historical and cultural tapestry of Genesis 4. To truly grasp the weight of Cain's story, we must first immerse ourselves in its original context. Genesis 4 emerges from the earliest strata of human self-understanding within ancient Near Eastern thought. It's not merely a historical account in the modern sense, but a foundational myth, a theological explanation for the origins of human conflict, the harsh realities of agricultural labor, and the uneasy relationship between humanity and the divine. The world of Cain and Abel is raw, untamed, far removed from the structured societies that would follow. It speaks to a nascent humanity grappling with concepts of good and evil, sacrifice, and the profound consequences of moral choices. Their lives are lived in the immediate aftermath of the fall, a world where the ground itself is cursed and paradise is a fading memory. The story reflects a nomadic or semi-nomadic existence, where the conflict between the settled farmer, Cain, and the pastoralist, Abel, might also echo the very real tensions between these emerging lifestyles in the ancient world, though primarily it serves a deeper theological purpose. B. Decoding the sacred text. Offerings, rejection, and the spilled blood. The narrative of Cain and Abel begins with an act of worship, a seemingly simple offering that spirals into fratricide. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord, and Abel also brought an offering fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. Here, the first point of tension arises. God looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering, he did not look with favor. The text itself doesn't explicitly state why Cain's offering was rejected. Was it the nature of the offering itself? Fruits of the ground versus the fat portions of the flock, perhaps indicating a lesser quality or effort from Cain? Or was it the heart of the offerer? The ancient Jewish sage Rashi suggested that Cain's offering lacked proper intention, while Abel gave of the choicest. The New Testament, Hebrews 11:4, affirms that Abel's offering was made by faith, implying Cain's lacked this essential ingredient. The rejection ignites a fierce anger in Cain, causing his face to fall. It is here that God, in a moment of profound pastoral concern, intervenes directly. Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. This is a pivotal moment, revealing God's foresight and warning. Sin is personified as a lurking beast, ready to pounce, yet humanity is given agency, the power to overcome it. Cain, however, ignores the divine counsel. The tragedy unfolds swiftly. Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. The silent, swift act of violence underscores its chilling premeditation. Then comes the divine inquiry. "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain's infamous reply, "Am I my brother's keeper?" echoes through millennia, a defiant denial of responsibility, a profound rupture in the nascent human community. But God knows, for the voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. The spilled blood, symbolically and literally, demands justice, staining the very earth from which Cain drew his sustenance. C. The hidden theological meaning: justice, mercy, and the burden of choice. Cain's punishment is multifaceted and deeply symbolic. Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth. This sentence ties directly back to his crime. The earth that drank Abel's blood now rejects Cain's labor, mirroring the curse on the ground after Adam's sin. His identity as a farmer is stripped away, replaced by that of a restless wanderer. Yet, it is in Cain's lament that the divine mercy shines through. My punishment is more than I can bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. Cain fears that his life is forfeit, a natural consequence in a world without established legal systems. But God responds not with further retribution, but with a surprising act of protection. Not so. Anyone who kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over. And then, the enigmatic mark. Then the Lord put a mark on Cain, so that no one who found him would kill him. This mark of Cain is perhaps the most debated element of the story. It is not explicitly stated to be a physical branding, though that has become its popular interpretation. The Hebrew word "ot" simply means a sign or token. Its purpose is protection, a divine intervention against further bloodshed, breaking the escalating cycle of vengeance. Theologically, it signifies that even in the face of egregious sin, God's justice is tempered with mercy. While Cain is exiled from God's immediate presence in the cultivated land, he is not abandoned to complete annihilation. He is allowed to live, to bear the consequence of his actions, and perhaps to find some form of redemption or at least continued existence. It underscores the sanctity of life, even the life of a murderer, and positions God as the ultimate arbiter of life and death, preventing mob justice. D. Controversies and enduring interpretations. What was the mark? The nature of Cain's mark has been a subject of endless speculation throughout history. Was it a physical deformity, a tattoo, a unique physical characteristic? Early Jewish and Christian traditions varied widely. Some rabbinic interpretations suggested it was a horn growing from his forehead, or perhaps a disease. Others believed it was a divine light or a letter of God's name, visible only to those who might seek vengeance. In more modern readings, particularly those seeking to distance the text from racial interpretations, the mark is understood not as a physical attribute at all, but as an invisible sign of divine protection, perceptible to others through an inner knowing or a divine deterrent. Another significant area of debate revolves around the precise reason for the rejection of Cain's offering. Truly the quality of the offering or the state of Cain's heart. The New Testament emphasis on faith, Hebrews 11, leans heavily towards the latter, suggesting Cain approached God with an impure motive, perhaps grudgingly, while Abel offered his best with sincerity. This shifts the focus from ritualistic perfection to the internal disposition of the worshiper, a profound theological point that resonates throughout biblical ethics. The very concept of sin crouching at the door also points to the internal battle, the struggle against envy and resentment that Cain failed to win. His story serves as a perennial warning against unchecked anger and jealousy, which, if allowed to fester, can lead to unspeakable acts. Part 3. The Eternal Echo. Cain's tragic tale, far from being a mere ancient anecdote, resonates with profound and timeless truths. It is a stark portrayal of humanity's capacity for both creative endeavor and destructive rage, a visceral account of the first sin spiraling into the first murder. We have explored the immediate context of his crime, the textual nuances of his offering and rejection, and the complex interplay of justice and mercy in God's response. The mark of Cain, whether physical or spiritual, stands as a testament to God's continued engagement with humanity, even in its darkest moments, and a commitment to preserving life, even the life of the condemned. The tragic tale of